Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Thank you to all those that have chosen to follow this podcast. Again, make sure that you like and follow and share this page right now as we're live, so that way we can make sure we're broadcasting it out to as many people as possible. But I am your host, AJ Reygadas. This is the Sauce Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that we're connecting right now with all those people that are getting ready for work, that are on their way to work, that are maybe making that breakfast, making their coffee. Those are the people that we're trying to engage with right now. So feel free as we get into this segment to start commenting and ask your questions, something that you'd like us to talk on. If there's any topic, we're going to go over our list of things as well. But without further ado, I got to introduce my special guest, a good buddy of mine, Jesse Hernandez, who is a criminal defense attorney, actually practices different types of law as well. So I need to make sure I acknowledge that. I think the criminal defense part just sounds really exciting and enticing. So I wanted to lead with that. But yes, let me introduce y'all, my special guest, Jesse Hernandez.
Good morning, y'all. How are y'all doing? Not that y'all can answer me. I guess y'all could answer, but I'm not going to hear it. Anyway, I am happy to be here, man. This is a dream of mine. I have been following you since day one. I have seen every episode of this, and I'm amazed. I'm happy to be here. Thanks, so as AJ said, I am a criminal defense attorney here in San Antonio. I started out a criminal defense attorney. We've kind of expanded since then. Our firm also does personal injury. We also do family law. We've grown in size. It used to be just me and a tiny little sublet from another attorney's office. Wow. And now I think we have 18 members of our staff now, 6 attorneys, 12 staff folks, and nice. We're growing.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm curious to know, man, you said 8, how many different attorneys in your office?
We have 6.
6. So with 6 different attorneys, 6 different personalities, I'm assuming 6 different types of law that y'all practice, or?
So the vast majority of them, all of them practice criminal defense.
Okay.
One of them also does personal injury. Another one does family law.
Nice.
And then we have a 7th that is actually going to join us. I look at my watch as if it's going to be recent, but it's in next week. Nice. We're going to have a full-time personal injury attorney joining us.
Nice.
So it'll be 7 attorneys. So.
Nice.
But yeah, they're all different. They're all.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, do y'all ever get into arguments, and more so arguments over cases like no, I'm right because of this law or blah blah blah? Do y'all ever do any? And I shouldn't say arguments, maybe debates. Maybe debates is the more appropriate word.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a wide array of backgrounds. One of our attorneys used to be a prosecutor. He was a lead prosecutor here in Bexar County.
Nice.
Some of our other attorneys have been criminal defense attorneys their whole lives. We have baby attorneys, and so we all read the law, and typically we're spot on. We all agree.
Yeah.
There are times when we are going back and forth, and I don't think you're interpreting that right.
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of law. Is you're always going to have different interpretations.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's shaped by the experiences you've had. Maybe you've had a trial and a judge ruled a certain way, and so you're saying, "Hey, I know you see it that way, but the last time I was in that court, that judge said."
Yeah.
No, that exception doesn't apply. So
wow.
It happens all the time.
That's interesting to know that you study and you remember the experiences with judges on cases to where most likely what you're going to walk into, what type of atmosphere that judge creates, to where, like you said, hey, that didn't fly last time, so maybe we should try this angle or this argument, whatever it may be. But that's pretty neat. That's pretty interesting that y'all can go through that.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, and you kind of have to, because it's kind of like having a ref at a basketball game.
Yeah.
If they call it tight, then you got to play it a different way than you normally
Your expectations change.
So yeah, you have to know that.
So tell me, man, give me more of a background on you. First off, let's actually start with this. How can our viewers find you in the case that they need your services?
Oh, okay. Well, if you need me, I'm always here for you. The best way to get a hold of me, according to my social media manager, Joseph, is at Texas Chancla. That works for that works for TikTok, for Instagram, for our YouTube. Joseph wants you to go to our TikTok, though, because we're kind of in a slump and adding people. So at Texas Chancla on TikTok, find us there. There's a contact form. You can reach us.
Nice.
We're here if you need us.
Nice. Man, that sticks out. Was that who came up with Texas Chancla?
Oh, dude. So that's something that we had from a long time ago. I had a friend, and one day she she just texted to me. She's like, you should call yourself the Texas Chancla and say, we give insurance companies pow pow. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's funny. And I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. And then I was like, GoDaddy. Jumped on GoDaddy and we got the domain name. And then I think like a couple of months later, that's when the missions became the Flying Chanclas. And I was like,
I thought that maybe y'all carried that from there.
No, like we had that. And then they went with Flying Chanclas. I'm like, people are going to be like,
that is hilarious.
This dude's
catchy,
so derivative. He's like
what's crazy though is we're in San Antonio. That's who you're going to appeal to, obviously, typically first, right? Because I'm sure you can practice outside of San Antonio. Am I right around?
Right. Yeah. No, we actually have an office in Austin. We also have an I can't talk. We have an office in Austin and one in Houston as well.
Nice.
But San Antonio is our home, so it's where most of our attorneys are.
So born and raised San Antonio?
I was actually born in Fort Hood.
Okay.
My dad was in the military, so raised all around the country.
Nice.
But when he retired, moved back to San Antonio. I didn't know how to act right in San Antonio schools, so we took another move out to Lytle, where my dad is from, and
I got family
so
from
grew
there.
up out there. So
Nice. I got family from Lytle, man. That's cool. I tell you, it's not
I'm
that
sorry
small
for that,
town
bro.
feel anymore, man.
It's
that
not.
small
It's a
town
city
feel.
on the grow. The
Yeah.
water tower has always said that, but now I feel it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so where'd you go to high school?
Lytle?
Lytle? Wow. Nice. So it's funny, man. I know I was just telling you before we got started, I got pulled over last night, coincidentally. I got pulled over last night. Yeah, coincidentally, right? And
You do have the right to remain silent. You don't have to say
I
anything.
thought
This is being recorded, sir.
That TikTok popped in my head, and I was just like, man. I remember Jesse talks in his video about do not say anything, and I was just like, you know what?
I'm glad someone watched that video. You were my one view. I appreciate that.
But no, I got pulled over, and granted, I knew once he threw on his lights, I knew I was in the wrong, and so got pulled over on 35. It's funny. I pulled over I exited and pull onto the freeway. And walks up to me, and he, already in a good mood, thankfully, right? So he walks up to me, he's like, hey, buddy, can you just turn into that street right there? I was like, yeah, I actually wanted to. I just didn't want you to think I was going to try taking off and then you chasing me. And we kind of laughed and chuckled at it. But then I turned, we got back in our vehicle, or he got back in his vehicle, followed me, and I turned into the street just so he can be protected when he's talking to me. So he walks up, and oh my God, man. He was like, you're going 75 and a 60. And I was like, I'm not going to lie, officer. I'm pretty confident I was speeding. And so he goes, which here I am already admitting my guilt, right? But I was just like, okay.
Some
so he
people
got
don't
me,
listen to their lawyers.
75 and a 60. What else did he get me for? Oh, I had a hard time signing into my app on Nationwide to pull up my insurance card. So I was like, he's going to get me for this. Then he checks my registration. I am that guy. My registration lapsed, right? And I'm talking about a few months. And I just haven't made it a priority. And he runs my plates, and he goes, your custom plates, they no longer belong to you, right?
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh my goodness. And he goes, yeah, it says that they belong to 2022 Dodge Ram. And I was just like, I promise my vehicle's not stolen, man. And so he goes, I'm gonna have. This is where I feel like the moment, or I shouldn't say momentum, but
like
the
vibe
energy,
changed?
the vibe changed, because he goes, okay, I'm gonna open your door real quick, and I was like, oh,
this is where I get
man,
tased.
This is where I'm gonna. So I'm like, okay, and he opens the door, and he's like, no, I just need to run your VIN number real quick, and I was just like, okay. So he runs VIN number, comes back, but I am 100% confident that because of the way I was, respecting him, treating him, bro, he let me slide on everything. He gave me warnings on everything, and I was just like, wow, I was already in my head like, this dude's gonna tow my truck, like everything, right? And he let me go. And I will say that I'm confident that it's because of the way we were communicating with each other that he actually let me go, because I was already in my head like, dude, I'm gonna see Jesse in the morning. I'm gonna have to see if his people can take care of this for me. So yeah, just so random and coincidentally, So
Well, I'm glad that went well for you, but you're absolutely right. Demeanor has such a power in how these things play out.
Yeah.
If you come with the right attitude, most of the times the officer is going to treat you with the same energy that you're giving them.
Yeah.
And there's folks that are staunch, like, no, just like, don't tell them anything. like give them the energy. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm sorry. I
Don't
apologize.
Be a dick. Don't be a dick.
You know, and it's gonna go smooth most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad it worked out for you though. But you know, you mentioned the expired registration. I'm not gonna name any names, but there is someone at my office who is currently driving a vehicle who they are not more than a few months off. Their registration sticker literally says March 2018.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not going to name any names. There may be like cops like swarming around our office later on looking for that.
Yeah, we got a few police officers watching right now.
So I'm just saying they need to take care of that. Whoever that is, that's irresponsible.
So how long have you been practicing law?
Sometimes I want to say too long, but it really feels like I want to say about 15 years.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's
what made you want to get into becoming an attorney?
I think as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an attorney, and specifically, I've always wanted to be a criminal defense attorney.
Nice.
I think my mom said when I was in my diapers, I was running around acting like a little lawyer. I don't know, but that's what she said. So.
Wow, man. So I gotta ask, and I know we have to be careful on this next question with not saying any names or anything, but I'm curious. I'm sure my viewers are curious to know: is there that one case that just stands out to you that you can share with us without giving full details, obviously, but something that you can share to us that either was a great experience, crazy experience, you know, something that you're just like, I'm never gonna forget this one. You know, is there one that you can think of?
Wow, there's been a lot.
There's a bunch.
I've had some cases. Back when there was the Twin Peaks shooting in Waco, I represented 3 bikers in that one. There were a couple of boys here from John Jay that tackled a ref. Represented that one. We got on Good Morning America with that one.
Still has a meme going around.
I know. I just saw it the other day, and I feel so bad.
Marbach cut, dude.
the kid is he was a genuinely nice guy. He just. That poor
heated
haircut,
moment.
man.
Heated moment. I get it, man.
You know?
I'd be lying if I didn't say I make mistakes. You know, I've never tackled a ref, but at the same time, you know, I've made some quite a bit crazy mistakes in the past when I was younger. And it's funny because I always talk about like, man, those years between the age of 16 and I would say 22, that big gap of years right there, like I went through some of the craziest things in my life of poor decisions, bad mistakes. I mean, bro, I remember there was a time where I had 22 warrants for my arrests. And they were all traffic violations.
Was it expired registration?
Expired registration, failure to provide insurance, speeding, racing, impeding traffic.
Bro, that's what you got stopped for last night.
I know.
That's the same stuff.
I can't break the habit, man. I can't break the habit. I was racing the invincible truck next to me. But no, yeah, man. And I remember I've spent thousands of dollars in the past, in my early age, in my early 20s. I spent thousands of dollars just to get all that taken care of. But at the same time, you know, I try to give myself some clout because a lot of my friends, a lot of people that know me now today, they're just like, I don't see you being that person. And I'm like, dude, I was bad. Like even the way I talked, the way I just carried myself, I was a completely different person. And then I talked about like how many times I've been to jail in the past, but magistry. I've never been booked. So I don't know if I lose credit for that or what, but I try to give myself some street credit sometimes when I tell my story. Cause I'm like, man, I've been to jail like at least 8 or 9 times, but magistry. I never got booked. It was like that holding cell. They let you go, but it was never for anything crazy other than, oh, you got warrants for your speeding tickets or for your racing tickets, or you never showed up to court. And I was like 19 years old, 18 years old. And so sure enough, they would take me in and I'd spend a couple hours in there and then I'd get out. But yeah, thankfully never got booked. So.
Man, you would be surprised. You would be surprised at who comes into my office, what they come into my office for.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that being a criminal defense attorney for so long has taught me is everybody makes mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, if we were honest, we could think about any bar function for attorneys or most happy hours for realtors.
Yep.
When y'all are leaving these things, when we are leaving these things, pretty much anyone could be stopped for DWI.
For sure, man.
And it's one of those things where you don't intend to do it. You're there, you're having a good time. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3. And at what point are you legally intoxicated?
Yeah.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Like individually, you don't know. You could be like, no, I feel good. But if you were to blow into a machine, the machine would say, man, you're over the legal limit. And that happens a lot. It's just one of those little things.
Yeah, that's the scary part, man. And so on that topic, I'm actually we're throwing our grand opening of our office tomorrow. So all of my industry people, regardless of what kind of business you're in or whatever it may be, we're having our grand opening tomorrow for our office, 970 Isam Road, First Choice Realty, from 4 to 7 p.m. We're gonna have a DJ Little B. Brittany Labretta, who was on the show last week. She's going to be spinning on the ones and twos.
She's the favorite guest that you've had. Yeah, she's my favorite guest.
Yeah, people love her. And then she's on vacation right now. So she's actually coming back tonight, I think. But yeah, and then we're going to have food catered. Dude, this amazing food truck is coming. They're going to set up shop. They do I'm going to get grilled for this. Birria tacos. They do the birria tacos. And then the street tacos. So all that's catered. We're going to have drinks, margarita machines. But you're right. So me and Moses, my right-hand man in the office, we were talking about like, how should we do this? Because we've been to real estate events ourselves where there's free alcohol. And it's like, I don't want to be responsible for either people showing up drunk or people leaving drunk. And so he's like, bro, we got to do the 2-ticket thing. We got to do the 2-ticket thing. So that way we can help manage. We were going to hire a bartender to serve the alcohol. And I decided, no, how about we all make a 15-minute rotating shift within our brokerage of serving the alcohol so we can just keep eyes on people to make sure that no one's getting plastered. That's not what this event's about, by the way. It's a grand opening. But yeah, just to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure that no one's going to leave and get in some trouble. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, it was a good segue into getting into that conversation.
I do what I can. I try to make life easier for you.
But yeah, man. So let's see here. Can I ask this question? To correct me if I'm wrong. There was a case that you did that I remember you and I briefly spoke on a while back, and it was about a murder case.
I've done several murder cases.
Really?
I've had several murder trials, and then I've had a number of murder cases that never made it to trial.
Wow. So with that being said, I'm assuming they never made it to trial because y'all negotiated something.
Typically that's what happens. I think all the murder trials, I think maybe I've had 6 murder cases. 2 of them went to all the way through trial. 2 others, the murder charge was dismissed the day of trial, and trial proceeded on other grounds. And then 2 others were just dismissed outright.
Wow. So when you do make it to trial in a case like that, and the negotiation starts, I'm just curious to know. Yes, it's a serious, intense moment, but does that also excite you? I would imagine it excites you, right? Because it's a negotiation. It's like, shit, I got to do my job to represent my client and do the best that I can for my client. There's got to be some type of adrenaline in that.
I mean, the whole thing is adrenaline filled because even before you get there, the negotiation, I don't like negotiating.
Yeah.
If you wanted to give me an offer, you should have given me a reasonable offer from the beginning.
Yeah.
We're here to fight. We're here for trial.
Yeah.
Let's just do what we're here for. That's what excites me.
Yeah.
That's why I became a trial attorney, because I love that.
Yeah.
To me, it's as close as I'm going to get to like reliving those like football, baseball, high school days.
Yeah.
Because I'm not athletic. This competition, this being in there and fighting for someone is as close as I'm going to get. So that's the draw for me. That's the high is getting to trial. And when we get there, we're typically not going to negotiate because at this point, the state has given us their best offer. If they think they have weaknesses in their cases, they're going to offer us something.
Yeah.
And if they think their case is locked up, they have no incentive to give me an offer.
Yeah.
The last murder trial I had was here in Bexar County. We had to try it twice. The first time we tried it, the jury hung 11-1 in favor of a conviction.
Wow.
We retried it. They came back not guilty.
Wow.
That was intense, man. These things are intense. They have you like chomping Tums nonstop for months.
Gosh, I don't know if I would be able to handle that pressure. I mean, that's the thing about real estate that I love is I love the negotiating part. When people say, well, what's your biggest strength in real estate? I would say it's my negotiating, tied into somewhat of like, I would say also like problem solving. I'm very big on problem solving, on strategizing, and so that's the part out of the whole transaction, I would say that's the only part that really excites me is the negotiation part. because in our business, it's like the first one that talks loses.
Right.
And so I love doing a lot of pause questions where I just wait. It gets awkward for a little while because they're waiting for you to follow up. And I'm just like, nope, I'm going to stay quiet. This is our counter, or this is our, this is our counter offer, or whatever it may be. And yeah, man, that's the part that it gets exciting. So that might last for a couple minutes or a couple hours or even overnight, but that's really the only part. Well, that and then getting to the closing table, especially when they're a first time buyer and you get them to the closing table and they cry and they're excited and happy. Like that moment is exciting in itself. Cause I remember when I bought my house for the first time and I remember what that feeling was like. But yeah, man, it's an exciting experience. So that's why I was curious to know on your side, like if that gets exciting, if it's nerve wracking, like all of it,
Not for me. The negotiating, I don't negotiate well.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me that pregnant pause, I'm just going to walk away because I'm like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And that's actually, knowing your weaknesses is something that's absolutely critical in pretty much every field.
Yeah.
And I recognized a long time ago that I'm not a good negotiator.
Yeah.
So my managing attorney, John Perez, he is an excellent negotiator. This guy, like, he can go in there, he can get whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And I let him do that, and I'll go stand in the corner. I'll just, because I make people mad.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my presence, if it's my face, but people don't like me.
So I'm curious to know, like when you walk into the courtroom, or maybe not the courtroom, but the court halls, when you're getting ready to walk into your trial or whatever it may be, do you have that presence in the industry, right? In the industry where you're walking in and you see their reactions, they're like, oh shit, it's Jesse. Like,
no, I would love to be arrogant and be like, absolutely, bro. I walk in, people are like, dismissal. No, it's not like that. Bexar County, in my opinion, has some of the best prosecutors in the entire country. And the defense attorneys, my competition that walks the halls are some of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country. We are extremely lucky to have so many talented attorneys on both sides here. That, you could win 10 trials in a row and you're still just going to be like, yeah, there's that guy.
Yeah.
And actually, I haven't been in the courthouse a lot. About 2 years ago, I kind of stepped back and said, I want to grow the firm.
Yeah.
And I can't grow the firm and be a full-time trial attorney.
Yep.
And that's when I promoted John to managing attorney. Now John is the most senior of my attorneys that goes to court. I don't go to court on a daily basis anymore. I don't think I've been to court in the last 2 years, honestly.
Wow, nice. Okay. Well, that's good. And I can relate to that in the real estate realm because I've kind of let off the gas with my production, over the past, I would say, year and a half, where now I'm just focusing on the brokerage and our agents. I'm just dealing with training. I'm dealing with, the recruiting aspect. I'm dealing with, the ins and outs of the back end stuff. Like freaking AC went out last week, so it's like, man, I got into real estate to sell real estate. But
all
now,
the things you dreamed about.
Yeah, now I'm dealing with AC, a commercial AC unit that's going out on us that I need to find a commercial HVAC guy to come out. It's just like, what? We're talking about expenses for the office and doing this and our big event tomorrow. And it's just like, man, I used to just sell real estate. And so you're right. I get it. Cause now it's like, there's no way I can focus full time on selling real estate while also carrying a brokerage, making sure that my agents are crushing it, doing or having the tools that they need to succeed, whatever it may be. But yeah, man. And I find a new excitement out of that. Like I find that's my new passion, right? I wake up excited every morning now because I'm getting in the office and I know that every day on average, I'm going to have about 10 different agents in our brokerage that are going to call me up and say, I got this situation going on. What do you recommend we do? And it's like, boom, we got to think on the fly. What's the best, how do we attack this? Right. And so I'm sure that's what you deal with too.
Yeah. It's similar. And I was going to ask you, but you addressed it. And, I just told you that my high was the trial part.
Yeah.
And your high, you said was the negotiating.
Yeah.
And neither one of us is getting that high because we've taken ourselves out of those daily roles. And the hard part that I'm dealing with is finding that, I sound like a damn addict or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you need help, get help.
Yes.
Trust me on that. No, but now I'm trying to find that new excitement at work because I didn't go to law school to be a CEO.
Yeah.
But now I have this multi-million-dollar company and I don't get to do what I love. I don't get to do what I've been passionate about.
Yeah.
And you could go in and pretend like, hey, I'm passionate about making money. And really, I'm not.
Yeah.
I drive a 2014 Cadillac. Like, I don't care about money.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. Please pay your bill. But you know, it's hard. It's not anything I like to do. It's not anything I want to be doing.
Yeah.
No offense, Joseph. I don't like doing the TikToks.
Dude,
but we have to do
natural. We
have to do them to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, I love sharing the information, but I don't like being on camera, which there's like 5 of them here right now.
Yeah, we got a bunch of cameras there.
But you know, it's just trying to find, like, as we grow into that new role, I'm trying to find that new excitement.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at yet.
You'll find it, man. Like I've learned, you know, over the past year and a half, my excitement comes from, you know, helping that agent get through that negotiation, or seeing, like yesterday, I had my office manager. I told her, I was like, pull me all the numbers of where we're at for the year individually as agents in the brokerage. You know, more so on the commission aspect, because I want to see, you know, do we have any agents that have hit a 6-figure income yet year to date so far? And we do, and it's pretty cool because it's like, holy shit. I figured this agent in particular might have, but yeah, they're already at a 6-figure income, and we're not even halfway in the year yet. Nice. And we got a few agents right behind that person that are also following, like a couple grand away from being at a 6-figure income already. That's where I find like the excitement, because I'm like, yes, I like to think that I have something to do with that, but for the most part, they're putting in the hard work. But I like to think that I have maybe just a little piece.
So kind of like the Popovich developing new players kind of thing. I got
and
you.
That's the part that I love about our brokerage so much, man, is that, and this isn't a brokerage real estate topic, by the way, but the thing that I love the most about our brokerage is, you know, I do like to treat it like a Popovich mentality, where it's like, we have some heavy freaking hitters in our office, man. Some big time agents with well-known names in the industry that have decided to join our brokerage. And thankfully, when I do the first sit down with them, we have that conversation. I'm like, look, yes, you're amazing. Yes, you're a great realtor. Yes, you bring a lot of value, but please make sure, let's leave the egos at the door, you know, because we're a family here and everyone's here to help each other out. And sure enough, that's what it feels like, man. Like, everyone's there to help each other out. I mean, there's no egos in our office, but we have some kick-ass realtors, man. And that's what excites me, is being a part of that, you know? And then I think also too, like, which I don't know if you experience this personally, but I love it being held accountable by my agents. Like, constructive criticism is big for me. Just last week when I had a bunch of DMs and text messages from people watching the podcast, everyone was saying it was great. I was like, be honest, can I have your true opinion on it? Right. I'm all about constructive criticism. Oh, once I said that, then I got the floodgates open. Feedback from everybody. Yeah. And I was like, that's a good point. I do need to work on that.
That's why I don't open that door. I don't need that.
But I'm big on that, man. And sometimes we have some serious conversations where some of the agents address something that they're either concerned about or something that they're frustrated with. And I love it because our meetings always end with a positive outlook. They always end where everyone agrees, look, we're just in this to do the best we can for the brokerage. And so that's the one thing that I think that's really special about our brokerage right now that we have is a really good thing of family, and a tight-knit family where everyone just wants to see everyone thrive. So anyways, let's get out of that conversation. I want to talk about, let's get your thoughts, man, on the Johnny Depp and Amanda Heard case that's going on right now. Trial or case? It's not a trial, right? No one's going to get prosecuted.
It is a trial.
It is a trial.
It is a trial. Cool. So civil trials are trials too.
Okay.
They're important.
Yeah.
You know, gotta have them.
Yeah.
I have lots of opinions on this. This thing is bizarre, and the way that it's playing out over social media. Man, first of all, I'm just gonna say this, and I know you told me to not be too honest,
Here we go.
Like, this reminds me of couples that I know where you're like, oh, she's crazy, but then you're like, oh, he's crazy too.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
they both are.
Like, they are. There is no doubt in my mind that this is probably one of the most toxic relationships.
For sure. That's all I've been taking from this.
Yeah, I mean, she may have done wrong and he did wrong. But they're both just wrong.
Yeah, like, man.
There is so much of that.
It's sad. And to be completely transparent, I didn't say not to be too honest. I just said be careful on how you say, because you're going to piss off some Karen on here that's going to be waiting for that opportunity to say, no, you know what? This is why I don't like you, because of this, and I don't agree with you on this, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm sure I'll get some emails later. But
I was trying to save you from that. I was taking the route.
But no, yeah. I mean, regardless, I'll be honest. I don't have time to keep up with the trial and everything that's going on specifically. But I'm dabbling at it, and I'm hearing, and that's just the talk. I'll be honest. Thank goodness. I'd rather hear about this for right now, at least, rather than hearing about the Kardashians all the time. And so that's the big thing that a lot of people tend to talk about a lot is the Kardashians, all these other just crazy topics that I'm like, man, that's irrelevant. And honestly, this trial for the most part is irrelevant too, because everyone goes through this. It's just, this is more of a high profile because they're both celebrities. But you're right, man. Like the main thing that I take from this is like, what the fuck were they doing together in the first place? Because to my understanding, they were dating or messing around since 2012, and they got married in 2016, I believe. They were married for 2 years, and I was listening this morning. She was saying that he first hit her in 2013, and in my head, I'm just like, okay, I know, and I get the whole thing about, hey, it's hard to walk away from something, right? I get that, but is it that hard to still say yes to a marriage after you've been hit by someone? What's the word? Because we don't know that for sure, right? Allegedly hit from someone in 2013 to then go into 2016 and say, yes, I do to marriage. Like, that's the part that I don't get. And so I'm not doubting her. Yeah. I don't know the truth, right? But at the same time, I'm just like, if I was a person that was getting hit in the previous year, 3 years later, still deciding I'm going to marry this person. Like, I don't know, man. That's just the way I think. Is my logic behind it is like, I would never do that.
You would think that, but one of my murder cases was actually, this woman was a battered woman, and she was in this horrible relationship. The guy basically would beat her children, ended up killing one of her children. The prosecutors charged her with the death of the child. And she was in this battered woman syndrome, where her mind was completely warped by this guy. And so I dealt with an expert on that, trying to build a defense for her. Yeah. And these types of relationships, like for people who are not in them on the outside, it's easy to be like, no, that this would never happen. You should leave. Yeah. You don't know, man. Like people carry around so much baggage that she could have had relationships like this with important people in her life before. Yeah. That kind of just like made this an attractive situation for her. I don't know any of that stuff. All I know is that like this thing, watching it on TikTok, and I know this is tragic and it's sad, but the stuff on TikTok is like hilarious. Like people are pulling out like the smallest lines and making themselves legal experts. And like it's frustrating for me as a lawyer to watch and just like, wait, what? Yeah. When people are talking about like, oh, that objection was dumb. It's like, I don't think you understand what an objection is. Like, for example, there was this big thing about objection hearsay with one of her attorneys. Yeah. He asked a question to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp then starts to give an answer which references, it wasn't Johnny Depp, it was the doctor. Yeah. The doctor then starts to give a answer referring to another statement. Well, that's hearsay, that's inadmissible. Yeah. So the attorney objects to the answer, and everyone's like, oh, this lawyer's so dumb. He objected to his own question. No, he objected to the answer. Yeah. But like now this guy who obviously is a very talented lawyer to be hired by a celebrity, is now painted as like this idiot. Yeah. And I'm just like, what? Like social media is insane. Like people who don't know are passing judgment on people who actually like do this.
And thank you for clarifying that point of view for me. Cause again, that's where I was just like, I don't see how she could do something like that and still move forward with getting married to him. But now that kind of makes sense. I mean, you're right. And from the outside looking in, you don't know what that's like until you go through it. So I can completely understand that aspect.
Yeah. All of these, like, man, all these cases. And I think one of the greatest things that something like this does, even though we look at it and it's like, well, at least it's better than the Kardashians. I 1,000% agree with that. Although I think one got married. We shouldn't talk about that. Is like, these are very real types of cases. And if this was just like you or I, someone who's not a celebrity, we would not be getting the same,
for sure. No.
The same reaction that Johnny Depp's getting. For sure. People would just be like, no, he beats his wife. Yeah. Or it could be the other way, and Amber wouldn't be getting the same type of treatment. Yeah. It's insane. But when it's celebrities, like all of a sudden, everyone's an expert and everyone's like, no, like we have to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
It's important for society. It's not.
Yeah, I agree, man. And that's why I say, like, I'm not making it a priority. I just, here and there, honestly, man, I would say when I get home, I might watch a little segment, like a 5-minute segment on it, just to kind of get up to date. But for the most part, I just, not even every day. So, I started touching on it yesterday because I'm like, oh, let's talk on this tomorrow. But at the same time, I was wondering too, as I was thinking that, like, well, shit, is it over already? Like, what if it's already over and we're going to talk on it? Well, then that could be something we talk about, is that it's over and what,
and who won.
Yeah, and who won. Let's move on to the next thing, man. So Mike Tyson will not face charges.
Oh,
Did
dude,
you see that incident?
Yeah, I saw, just like everything, I saw that on TikTok. That's where I get all my news these days.
Same.
That was crazy because that dude was just like nonstop, like in his face, and
obnoxious.
I don't like. I feel like I would tell my 9-year-old, you're not supposed to hit anyone, no matter what they do, no matter what they
fork
say.
In the outlet,
But at the same time, like, you mess with Mike Tyson, you're gonna get punched.
Yeah, I'm really shocked to see that Mike Tyson carried himself so well for so long, until the leading moment where he just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna hit this dude. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong, but to my understanding, he was on shrooms at that time.
Mike Tyson
in that
was?
moment. Yeah, so he was mellowed out, I would imagine. And then well, granted, he does this shit every day apparently, but to think that, like, he's on shrooms, like, what's going on in his head with this dude talking to him? He's probably trying to mellow out and chill or whatever. And then this dude's just yapping. Oh man, it's like, that could have been really bad. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. And I'm not gonna lie, man, based off of what I saw, that dude deserved it. That dude deserved it. But again, we only know what we see. Right? We're not there. So who knows what's leading up to that? Maybe Mike Tyson, when he was getting into his seat and sitting down, he looked at him, maybe said, a comment. Who knows, right? But just based off of what we saw, I'm like, dude, that dude was just being a pain in the ass. Yeah, man. But yeah, so he's not facing charges. I'm glad, because I'm not going to lie, he's one of the podcasts that I like to watch, Hotboxing.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I like watching Hotboxing. I like watching Joe Rogan. I mean, those are the two biggest podcasts that I like watching the most. But at the same time, like, when I saw that, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Just want to remind y'all guys, make sure to like, comment, or share this podcast. Please, we're trying to get more viewers. We're sitting at 35 live right now, so let's try to get some more viewers. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're still going to address your comments. Let's move on to the next thing. So, any crazy Texas laws that we should know about that stand out to you the most, that the typical citizen doesn't know about? Like the most common one that you're like, dude, y'all should know about this.
This is a thing. This is a thing in our office. Jacqueline, our COO, wanted us to do like a whole TikTok series on weird laws. So unfortunately, I know a lot of them for the state of Texas and over the country. In Texas, you cannot milk someone else's cow. I don't know why you would want to, but you can't do it. You can't sell your own eyeballs or your kidneys. That's actually in the penal code. You can't do that. You can sell your blood, and I believe your hair, but not your eyeballs. That's bad.
Wow, that's desperate.
That's
hard times, man. Hard times.
There's something about stinky cheese in Houston. You can't buy stinky cheese, a specific stinky cheese in Houston on Sundays. There are so many ridiculous laws that it's pretty insane.
Wow. So I want to share with you, man. I found some laws. I think I had Googled like craziest laws throughout the country, and there were some that just stood out to me that I thought were hilarious. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring them up in the podcast. So check this out. So in Washington State, it's illegal to kill Bigfoot.
That seems fair.
That's really a law. It's illegal to kill Bigfoot. Bigfoot hunters beware. And gosh, I'm gonna jack this name up. Skamania County, Washington, passed a law in 1969 deeming the slaying of Bigfoot to be a felony and punishable by 5 years in prison. The law was later amended, designating Bigfoot as an endangered species. I was protecting the minorities.
I want to know how many people were hunting Bigfoot that they were like, bro, we need a law. There are just too many people killing all the big big feet.
Yeah, man.
Killing all the big feets out there.
God.
We have to protect them.
Yep. Hey, I get it, Bigfoot. I get it. In the state of Texas, maybe you can counter this, but in the state of Texas, you can get married by proxy. In Texas, marriages by proxy are perfectly legal. In other words, if you have a legitimate reason for absence, like military service, deployment, you can send someone to get married in your place as long as you have all the right documentation. I was like, wow. Let me send my BFF to go get married. Brittany, let me send Brittany to go get married for me. See if that'll work out.
Bro, I don't got time for this today. I'm doing a podcast. I'm on the sauce with AJ. Can you please go marry my fiance? I don't have time for it.
Priorities. In the state of Pennsylvania, no bartering infant children. This can be a touchy topic. If you live in Pennsylvania, don't try selling your child. State law stipulates that a person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the first degree if he deals in humanity by trading, bartering, buying, selling, or dealing in infant children.
No, I think that's a really good law because you really don't know the worth of a child till they're a toddler. Because at that age, you could be like, they're fast, they're smart. Infants, like, you don't know what you're getting. So a misdemeanor seems low, but it makes sense. Like, yeah, you have to wait till they have some skills.
Bro, check this one out. In the state of Nebraska, no marriage if you have a venereal disease. So it says it's illegal to
no one in San Antonio is getting married in Nebraska is what I meant.
No one that went to John Jay. No,
wow.
I'm joking. It's illegal to get married in Nebraska if you have a venereal disease, though courts have later clarified that if the other spouse is aware of the disease at the time of marriage, they can't try to annul the marriage later on those grounds. So use protection. That's freaking crazy. This one I thought was sad. Poor people, man. In Minnesota, bingo is only allowed 2 days a week. I don't know why they thought of this, but until 2015, Minnesota law limited nursing homes and senior centers to just 2 days of bingo per week. Even if you're visiting a nursing home resident, you were prohibited from playing bingo with them. Can't let things get too wild.
Abuelitas would riot in San Antonio. Dude, they would burn those nursing homes down.
Seriously.
No, that's cruel and unusual punishment.
I got another one, dude. In the state of Louisiana, my Bayou people, Bayou. I suck at trying to interpret, or pronounce or whatever. Bear wrestling is prohibited. I said beer. Bear wrestling is prohibited. Next time you're looking for an alternate...
Wait, is that bear like B-E-A-R or like naked
B-E-A-R? I'm sorry, like bear, like... Oh.
I thought you meant naked wrestling. I was going to be like, that should be banned too.
Bear wrestling is prohibited. Next time you're looking for an adrenaline rush in Louisiana, maybe avoid wrestling bears. Louisiana law states that individuals involved in bear wrestling matches, defined as match or contest between one or more persons and a bear for the purpose of fighting or engaging in a physical altercation. Man, you know what I think of when I read that? I thought of, what's that UFC fighter's name that retired? The Russian dude. No. He just retired. He still yaps, though, and gives his opinion on fights. He claims he's the greatest fighter. I don't agree with it, but he claims he beat Conor McGregor. Oh, man, what's his name?
Bro, I'm worthless on UFC.
It's a weird... Khabib. There you go. Khabib. He used to wrestle bears as a child growing up. So then I thought of him when I saw this. I was like, oh, well, Khabib can never be in Louisiana.
First of all, bears don't know when to shut their mouths. They be running those mouths too much. And sometimes you have to put them in their places. But why is this a law? I don't know that there's a lot of bears in Louisiana.
I don't even know bears in Louisiana.
But why can you wrestle alligators then?
Exactly.
Like, why is that okay?
There's definitely alligators.
But not bears.
Discrimination.
You also cannot hunt big feet. Big feet. I still don't know how to say it.
The way things are going
in Louisiana.
The way things are going in today's society, what if a bear identifies as a
Bigfoot?
As a Bigfoot or as an alligator?
I respectfully decline to touch this issue.
Okay, last one. In the state of Maryland, no cursing is allowed. So watch your language in Maryland. If in Rockville, it's illegal to to profanely curse and swear or use obscene language upon or near any street, sidewalk, or highway within hearing of persons passing by upon or along such streets, sidewalks, or highways.
Remind me to never watch a Dallas Cowboys game in Maryland.
Right?
Because
Never go to a game over there.
Yeah,
because I will go to jail.
Written up. And
I will go to jail.
I would have 22 warrants.
Yeah.
I would be in magistrate.
Hey, bro, that was my thug life back in the day. But yeah, man, so just wanted to point out some crazy laws. Jesse, I appreciate you joining me today. It was a great time. I hope we hit some great topics for people to discuss on or debate on or yell at us about. But yeah, just so that way, I want to remind the people, how can they find you again?
So the best way to get a hold of us is at Texas Chancla. TexasChancl. I don't know why I turned it into a spelling bee. But at Texas Chancla on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You can find us there. It's the best way to get a hold of us.
Yes, nice. And it's so funny. Every time I've tried to spell out something like that, I'll mess up and I'll just forget it. just Google it.
You know how to spell it.
Exactly. And then guys, please continue to support our podcast. Please like, comment, share the podcast so that way we can get the word out there, grow our audience, and continue to do these every week. But before we go, I want to share with you, I got a little gift for you, man.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
sweet.
Thank you, Haley. Yes.
I have my own sauce t-shirt.
You've been sauced.
I like this. I like this.
Yes. Well, brother,
thank you so much, man.
I appreciate you joining. Yes. Everybody stay tuned. In the meantime, have a great week. We're going to be hitting it next week, next Wednesday at 7 a.m. again. We're gonna come at you hard. We'll keep you posted on the topic. But just please continue to like, follow, share our page. Let's get it growing. But again, thank you for tuning in. I hope that y'all liked it. Stay blessed. Make sure you're making an impact on someone's life today. And I wish all of you a great, successful week. Have a good one, y'all. Boom. That was good, bro.